There's a voice in your head. You hear it when you fail, when you're alone, when you're about to try something new. It sounds like you, but it's not. It says, "You're not good enough. You always mess things up. You'll never change." You trust it because it's familiar, because it's always been there, because it knows how to sound like truth. But here's what no one ever told you. Your mind is not your friend, not by default. And if you keep thinking like this, you're going to lose. Your mind doesn't want you to grow. It wants you to survive. That's all it's ever been designed for. Not happiness, not success, survival. And anything that threatens the comfort zone, ambition, risk, change, your mind labels it as danger. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you self-sabotage. That's why your best ideas never become action. Because the mind is doing its job, keeping you safe in the familiar, even if that familiar is a miserable version of life. Let me tell you a story. There was a man with big plans. He wanted to build something, a business, a new life, a better version of himself. But every time he got close to starting, his mind stepped in. You'll fail again. You're not ready. They're all better than you. So he waited. Next month, next year, next life. One day he woke up at 45 and realized he had nothing. Not because the world crushed him, but because his mind convinced him to stay small. That's how most people die. Not in one big tragedy, but in slow, silent surrender to their own thoughts. Let's break this down further. Your brain is a pattern machine. It runs on habits, experiences, emotional memories. It favors repetition, even if it's harmful. That voice in your head, it's an echo of past pain, old criticism, things you heard when you were vulnerable and believed without question. And the worst part, it builds a prison, but convinces you it's home. This is called cognitive distortion. Your brain exaggerates failure, minimizes success, fuels guilt, shame, fear. You're not broken, you're just wired wrong, temporarily. And wiring can be changed, but only when you stop obeying it. This battle isn't new. The Bhagavad Gita, a 2,000-plus-year-old text, lays it out clearly. Arjuna, a warrior, stands on the battlefield. He sees people he knows, friends, family, teachers, and he breaks down. "I can't do this," he says. "I can't fight people I care about." But Krishna tells him something deep. This isn't about them. This is about you becoming who you were born to be. It's not a war of swords. It's a war of the soul, a war inside. Your version of this war? It's not arrows and armor. It's anxiety, overthinking, floored fear, self-doubt. And if you lose this battle, you lose everything. Here are the 5 biggest lies your mind will tell you. You're not ready. No one ever is. Readiness is a myth. You get ready by doing. You're not like them. Good, you're not supposed to be. You'll never be good enough. Good enough for what? The opinions of people who don't matter? You failed too much? Every great life is built on a graveyard of failures. What if you lose everything? You already are. Every day you choose not to start. So what do? You stop waiting for the fear to disappear. You stop looking for motivation. You stop asking for permission. You do what you're afraid of while you're still afraid. That's how you rewire the mind. That's how you fight back. Not with thoughts, with action. Consistent, relentless, unapologetic action. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. Every one of them had reasons to quit, but they didn't obey the voice. They reprogrammed it. They rewrote the story. They took the wheel. And you can too. But only if you recognize that the enemy isn't out there. It's in your head. If this message hits something inside you, if your mind has been dragging you down in silence, don't scroll past this like it didn't happen. Like the video. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe, not for fluff, but for fire, for truth, for reminders that you are not alone in this fight. You've obeyed that voice long enough. You've let it decide who you are, what you do, what you avoid, but no more. Now, you take control. You decide which thoughts get to stay. You decide which ones die. You choose action over anxiety, purpose over paralysis. And the best part, every time you choose strength, every time you move through fear, your mind gets quieter and you get louder. So here's the truth again. Your mind is not your friend until you train it, until you make it your servant, until you teach it that your purpose is louder than your fear. If you keep thinking like this, If you keep surrendering to that voice, you'll lose every version of the life you were meant to live. But if you fight back, you win the only war that ever mattered, and that's a war worth winning. Most people stay prisoners inside their own mind forever. Don't be most people.